Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson this evening, and I'm still waiting for Makobura and Simamo so that we can have a conversation today about uh, what's happening. Just confirm for me if my audio is okay. Yesterday we had an issue with audio, so if you're there listening to me, kindly confirm to me if you can hear me. Thank you so much, J7D, for joining early enough and saying hi. Uh, yeah, okay, thank you so much. If my audio is fine, that's okay. That's okay. And I hope everyone is doing fine. As I said earlier, I'm still waiting for Makobura and Musimamo to come in so that we can have discussion today of what is happening. There's an observation that I've made, especially in Linda Wananchi, from Kalebamisi. For few, I think for quite some time, Kalebamisi has been having interviews and podcasts on various platforms. And from his interviews, I'm noticing actually the way he speaks. And today he was in one of the radio stations, and he discredited, especially the Linda Mwananchi, that they're deviating from uh, what they stood for, especially, and is planning to form another movement, especially that I think he will use, and I think this is his political party because we know the new political party belonged to him. The other day I saw him at Old Kalau. He was campaigning for his candidate, and he he said again that is the person who made Sifuna famous. So I don't know how this one is going to work out, especially on Kalebamisi, especially uh, if he feels right now that the Linda Mwananchi is not doing fine. We will discuss that. Yesterday also, we just mentioned about Faith Odhiambo. All of you know Faith Odhiambo as the former LSK chair, LSK's president, who did a wonderful job, and she has joined the Linda Mwananchi. I remember very well when the Gen Z were protesting. At some point, President William Ruto appointed her to be among the committee members who were going to investigate the debt, but she declined later when that compensation panel for the victims, she was also appointed, and I think she was the deputy. Then people went to court and challenged the appointment, and and she later resigned. Then she has joined the Linda Mwananchi, and I think she will be in Thika coming this Sunday. So, what does this one mean, especially for Linda Mwananchi? I think Faith, being that she has a name, she created a name when she was the LSK president, and whatever she did, I think what she did is resonating well with the majority of young people. So by her joining Edwin Sifuna's team, I think she comes with her base, whether they are two or they are four, that's okay. Then also it's also advantageous because also she's coming with uh, the legal, what did I say, the legal experience. So in terms of legal issues or legal matter concerning the Linda Mwananchi, I think she will be there to add or to be part of a decision-making team. Remember, you have Orengo there as a senior counsel. We have Sifuna also has a background in law. then Faith is coming, and majority of other young leaders, including Babu Owino. Also, that is a big plus to Linda Mwananchi. Let me say what is yeah, things are changing very fast with multiple parties being created, give Ruto the upper hand while the ununified oppositions quabbles and split the votes. Yeah, I've always said here that if united opposition or if those who are competing against President William Ruto, they want to make him one term, those who are competing against him, one of the things that they have to do, they have to unite. Yeah, because uh, President William Ruto is not just a mere politician that you will just wake up and say that you want to go head on with President William Ruto. First of all, President William Ruto has the machinery, President William Ruto has the resources, President William Ruto has intelligence in his side. He has everything in the system. So those who are planning or those who have an ambition, especially they want to uh, compete with President William Ruto if a ballot, they have to shelve their ambitions for president and agree on one candidate that is going to face off with President William Ruto. But with all these divisions that we are seeing, because things are changing so fast, because from the look of things, I don't think like Caleb Amisi will be attending Linda Mwananchi rallies. I don't think so from the way he speaks. And the other day also, I saw an article, especially that was saying there is a power struggle in Linda Mwananchi between those big names. So what does that one mean? So it means um, President William Ruto will have his right during election. So um, that is something that I don't know. Marco Bura, are you there? Hello, Mark.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Maybe I want to know your opinion, especially on Caleb Amisi, the member of parliament for Saboti. Today, he had an interview in one of the radio stations, and he talked about him making Sifuna famous. That is one. Two, he also spoke that the united opposition, I mean not united opposition, sorry, the Linda Mwananchi have deviated from their main core. And with politics, what do you read about Caleb Amisi, especially with his remarks of lately?
Okay, thank you. First, allow me to say hi to you and to our great supporters. Starting with Iho, I can also see Brenda and everyone else who is watching. You just remind them that we are grateful for their continued support
Mm.
and their presence as well. Yeah. The issue that you've asked, I want to say that Kalib Amisi, is coming out to be one of those politicians who are hard for people to tell or to gauge their stand, because remember they are the first people who started up, I mean, coming up with this narrative of going against, I mean, behaving like rebels. If you remember, there were Babu Owino, Sifuna, there was Githunguri, member of parliament, amongst others. They were moving around and they were saying that the young people are going to safeguard the
Yeah.
interest of the people of Kenya and they will ensure that they do what they are able to do. Along the way, of course, we started seeing him coming up with different different opinions compared to the opinions that we were getting from his colleagues. Remember
Yeah.
the other time he was also being interviewed and he said that he does not like the fact that Edwin Sifuna led team, that is the Linda Mwananchi team, are associating themselves with Rigathi Gachagua. And he was very specific. He said that if that is going to continue, then he
Mm.
has no alternative but to leave the Linda Mwananchi. And when he was asked the reason why he was saying that, he was very particular. He said that Rigathi Gachagua is a bad, according to him, a bad politician, and that part of the things that he did, he has no, there is no way they can associate themselves with him. And I remember also being asked if how the plans that they have as they're heading towards 2027, and whether they will, according to him, they will seek for support. And he said that yes, they can seek for support, but in any case, Rigathi Gachagua is part of that particular formation.
Mhm.
He said that he would leave. And again, he said that Edwin Sifuna has the capacity. It's to an extent that he does not need Rigathi Gachagua or any of that character, according to
Mhm.
his views. But what I can say is, it's politics. You never know the interest of an individual, because from my understanding, if truly you have a vision, or if truly you have a plan,
Mhm.
and most of the political limelight, even if somebody is as dark as Satan
Mhm.
and they're coming to support you at times in politics, it really means a lot. So I do not really know what he stands for. But again, the other day I was seeing people saying that probably he has started. I mean, the government might be using him in one way or another.
Okay.
So
Let
ours
me
is let's see
let,
how
let, let
things.
me let me play this sound.
It's not that they did not who's actually saying it. Yes, as it should be. Yes, yes, yes. So when you talk to your friends in the Linda Mwananchi wanasema ati kuhusu is they you know how I started this thing. And I always repeat. I remember that time you were fired from that committee, you were here. I was here. And I'm the one who started the Linda Mwananchi. Okay. Have you ever had anybody say no? No. Thank you. Hujapingwa? Yeah. I'm the one who started it. It's not that they did not understand the assignment. The assignment was there are people who do not really want William Ruto, but they are also tired with these same people who have been there since Moi's time. They just want something new. And I gathered all these leaders who are youthful, Babu Wino, Sifuna, Clive, Kibagendi, Didi Nyoro was there, Ali Mohammed, and I hosted them in Sabot. I said, if you guys are fearing, I will host it. I hosted, it was massive, and then it began now the Kenya Moja.
So, so if you had that very good idea and you started it, now what is the change of mind? Because from all the indication, Makobura, we agree here that when it comes to the political, especially winning an election in Kenya, one of the priorities that political parties or the political players usually put in mind, it is not about the policies that what they are going to do. First of all, what comes to their mind is the numbers. They first of all talk about numbers. If we want, for example, those who want to take President William Ruto home, they have to do a scientific, poll and look at themselves and say that what numbers do we have? You know, the same way Ruto is looking at them and say that if I want to defeat them and to get my second term, I have to work on my numbers. So with what Caleb Missy is saying, with the kind of politics that we have in our country, do you think it is possible?
Just like I'd said, he might, and I did mention very well that I remember they are the part and parcel of the people who came up with this particular narrative. They're the exact people who started this particular movement before the others joined. So what I can say is that if you see him changing at this particular moment, it could be that with the introduction or with the coming in of some other leaders, maybe feels like somebody or some other leaders are going to take over. Probably that might be a reason. Number two, it could be that he's being compromised to change his particular his stand. Again, number three, which then brings this question, like you've just asked me. It is always very important in politics that whenever you're making a move and somebody from nowhere just decides that they want to support you, as a politician, it is always a positive thing. It is always the best that somebody can never, I mean, uh, shy away from. So the only worry or the only thing that I'm asking here is, well, people might be having their issues, political challenges, political bad behaviors, but I feel that he's not honest enough, because currently, if we are supposed to then start analyzing each and every individual in this particular platform, then I can simply tell you that all of them, if you start mentioning either of them, you will find that they have some slight problem here and there, and
Yeah.
that tells you that there's nobody who is clean in this particular platform.
Yeah.
Regarding Gachagua, well, you know, well, I think let me give this clarification first. The problem we have in Kenya is one: when you are on this side, the people on the other side are devils. But
Yeah.
when you cross to the other side, the people on this other side are devils, and that is a lie. That's a big lie in the political ground, because it makes it brings a lot of confusion, and it
Yeah.
confuses the citizens. That is what has been happening in Kenya. You find that when Rigathi Gachagua was in government, then the government was the best,
The best.
and the people in opposition were the worst.
Mm.
Today, he's in the opposition, the government is the worst. And that is the narrative that is being spread by every politician. And that is why I feel that this particular member of parliament, he's not being honest. He's not speaking about the realities. All of them have issues. But at this point, it is not a matter of looking how big somebody's problems are. It is a
Yeah.
matter of bringing hands together, and partly them looking at where they're going together. If you see them starting to bring all these particular issues, then it tells you that there's some money that is being played, that is in play. If you see, yeah,
Yeah.
so it is not fair,
Mhm.
and it simply shows how dishonest our leaders are. That would
Okay,
be my take.
Makobura, we were expecting some guests, so we were just starting so that we can keep our viewers engaged. Hey, Muesh, habari gani?
Mzuri sana. Pole kwa kuingia late.
Makobura, you are aware of our... Makobura, where have you gone? Makobura just decided. Okay, Makobura, you just decided to run away.
Not really. I'm still here.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura, and we will engage. Okay, so I'll engage you later. Thank you so much. Okay, Moesh, thank you so much for joining. That is usually my co-host Makobura. We were just waiting for you. So how have you been in Kisumu City?
We are fine. We are doing fine in Kisumu.
Tell us what is happening in Kisumu. The rate of security. People are being beaten up, but what is happening? And you are the people leaders there. What are you doing to make the citizens safe, Bana?
We are doing a lot of community policing. We are trying to meet the stakeholders, and so far things will be good. Things will be under control.
For how long, my brother? The other day I just saw somebody akagongwa tu na chupa pale on in town very early. It was daylight. Na mambo iko aje bwana? See, you are scaring investors away from Europe bwana.
We are having
Okay, seems that we are not communicating. Muesh, I don't know whether your network is stable or what's happening. Mheshimiwa Adede Sheshe is one of the leaders in Kisumu County who will be vying for Shauri Moyo ward. Yes, Muesh.
yes.
Sijui network yako iko na shida kidogo, sijui nini mbaya, ama watu wanakupigia wengi.
Ni yangu ama ni yako?
Mimi yangu iko sambamba. My network
hii nimebaki sasa hivi, nashangaa iko na shida aje na
network yangu iko sambamba bana, imesimama. Ama watu wasikakupigie.
hata sofa sioni mtu yote.
Then check your
naona ni kama
internet.
iko sawa sasa.
Iko sawa sasa. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Dede, for taking your time to be here. It is quite an honor. We were just asking you about the security issue that is in Kisumu, and how is this one helping the city, and what are you doing as leaders?
Yes, so there are some few incidences of insecurity in Kisumu, but just the way I've told you, we've had a series of meetings with the stakeholders, and the Mijikumi, the chief, the assistant chief, the village elders, and the youths. And the police are doing more patrols. Even right now, if you walk around the city, you'll meet the police. They're doing patrols. Yeah. So we hope very soon everything will be under control.
Okay, thank you so much. And I want us to start engaging you based on what you posted, especially you gave an opinion on the ruling that was done to hold or to uphold the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. And you say, as a student of law or as somebody who understands law, you say that this was the best decision that has been made. Maybe can you expand to us further?
Yes, so you see, everybody knows very well that Gachagua was impeached by the Senate through a voting process.
Yeah.
And the votes were in favor of those who wanted Gachagua to go home.
Yes.
So there was only one ground for Gachagua. His ground was that he was not given a fair hearing.
Yes.
Which to some extent is making sense, but at the same time, we can't agree with him, because remember, the Senate did not refuse him to come to Senate. He himself kidnapped himself, disappeared, and only to resurface later. Actually, even his lawyer said that he didn't know they were.
Hey. Adede, today your net is not stable.
Yes, do you get me?
You are stuck, but now let me just bring you, when you come to that article, actually it's Article 50 of Kenya Constitution that talks about fair hearing. And when you talk about fair hearing,
yes, fair hearing. And remember, the Senate was there in the wee hours of the night waiting for him, so that he can be accorded a fair hearing. You see, and later the Senate means, because remember, if you are sick, at least your lawyer should know. He was served with papers that he knew very well that he's needed in the Senate. So he was given an opportunity to go and present himself before the Senate. So we can't say that he was not given an opportunity for a fair hearing. Actually, his case could have had a weight if, but the Senate did not give him time to hear his views. Remember, he did not even come anywhere near the Senate House. He did not even send his lawyers with papers. He did not even send his lawyers with any form of writing. Maybe excusing himself due to medical grounds or any other grounds. So We strongly believe that Gachagua just avoided the Senate. He did not want to be questioned. So
Okay.
that's why, according to us, we
Uh-huh.
believe he was given an opportunity for fair hearing, but he refused to take advantage of the opportunity. That's why even the 50 million he was awarded, to us, we think he doesn't deserve that money.
Okay, thank you. But you know, in this life, there's what we call emergencies. Emergencies. These are some occurrence that might happen without you knowing. Especially, Rigathi Gachagua was in the court, in the Senate, the entire morning, so he was coming for afternoon interrogation, and health emergencies or occurred to him, so he had to go to the hospital to be checked whether it's okay. How in that state of being in emergency, he can write a letter to the lawyers and say that I'm sick. And he's in a state of confusion, like his mind was not functioning well because he was sick.
Okay, let me tell you something. Somebody in the stature of a deputy president cannot disappear.
Yes.
Unless he chooses to disappear. Somebody, do you know how many people work in the office of the deputy president? Do you know how many ADs, how many people deputy president walks around with? The security, the PAs, at any moment, you'll find even 10 or even 20 more people around him. So we understand that emergency can come up. We understand. That's why we are saying it is impossible that Rigathi Gachagua could disappear to an extent. Even his PA, his lawyers, his family doesn't know his whereabouts. That's why we believe this was malice. We believe this was done with the intent of avoiding the Senate, because if at all he was sick, then being sick is normal. Yeah? He could have as well communicated through his PA, through his security, through his lawyers. Yeah? But I am sick, I'm headed to the hospital, I won't be attending the evening session of the Senate. Remember, this person was not traceable. By the time the Senate was debating this thing, he was not traceable. Even in that hospital where he claimed to have gone, he could not be traced there. So we believe that he somehow kidnapped himself so that he is nowhere in the radar, so that later on he comes with this excuse that he was not given an opportunity to be heard. So we believe that he was just trying to take advantage of the Constitution, which is wrong.
Okay, as a leader, let's take out Rigathi out of this and let's focus on the democracy of this country, because you know our country is ruled under what we call the constitutional democracy. And I want to bring you back, especially when the judgment for Raila Amolo Odinga was made, especially in the Supreme Court. That was petition Raila Odinga versus against President William Ruto, the electoral, you know. And there were literature that was used by the courts, especially by the Chief Justice. And during that time, everybody, those who were supporting the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and everybody agreed that the ruling or the literature that was used was not the literature of law. And people castigated the judiciary. And today, the judiciary that gave the ruling, today you will find that a good number of people are saying the judiciary did a good job. What do you think as a nation we need to do?
I think as a nation, first of all, it starts with us as the citizens. As a nation, we need to be responsible citizens. Citizens who obey the law and citizens who don't take advantage of the law. You see, there is a possibility of somebody taking advantage or a loophole in the law. Like, for example, I don't want to mention the name Rigathi, but let me just use an example. You see, if a court has granted me an opportunity to be heard, then I disappear, then later claim that I was not heard, then I think it should be upon the judges to determine whether this person was accorded an opportunity to be heard. Remember, the judges must first of all determine whether he was given that opportunity to be heard, which was a take. Everybody agrees that he was given that opportunity. But now the second question is, did he
Okay, I think Adede has a problem with his network, but I still have one question, especially as when we are looking at the entire Rigathi Gachagua. Why should we cherry pick? If it was unfair hearing, we say that fair
What
hearing.
happened? You see, at the end of the day, yes, I think we are back. So I was saying, at the end of the day, nobody can force you to appear before a court of law.
Yeah.
It is upon you to make the decision to appear before the court of law, or before the jury, or before the Senate, the assembly. So Kenya, we have developed as a nation in terms of constitutionalism, and actually we have one of the best. I believe we have one of the best constitution in Africa. We have a very advanced and robust constitution, and even our judiciary, our judiciary is ranked among the best. Remember, it is only in our judiciary where we have record of handling very high profile cases in standards that are international standards. Like the case of, remember the case where we had when the presidential petition, where the presidential election was thrown out. That one has never happened anywhere in Africa. So I believe in our judges. I believe in our judiciary. So if they say that this person should just be awarded some damages, to some extent we need to agree with them, because at the end of the day, they know the reason. Yeah.
Okay, maybe to make it brief, why is it that we are cherry picking, especially if we say that the court did not give Rigathi Gachagua, especially a fair hearing? We say, no, Lewe, on your own, you say that this is a guy who kidnapped himself, but we agree on other charges, other orders that were given by the court, but on this one, we still put back. Why can't we say that, okay, we agree with everything 100%?
You see, there were so many prayers in the court that day. So the most important issue which was being addressed there was whether his rights were violated. Whether his rights were violated. Which the court to some extent agreed that his right to fair hearing was violated. And that is why there was a remedy. Remember, remedies tend to differ. The remedy was given was only the compensation, the 50 million compensation, which is allowed. Remember, if I wrong you, the court can decide that I may pay you, or I may go to prison, or I may get some judgment that favors whatever I want. But at the end of the day, a remedy is a remedy. So we believe that justice was served, and the remedy which was given, which was 50 million, was just fine based on the findings and based on things which you presented there.
Okay, thank you so much for that. But it's something subject to a discussion, because when you listen to legal scholars, especially, they give different varying versions on how they understand law based on, especially on what the courts have said about his fair hearing. It was not accorded fair hearing. And some legal scholars conclude that if he was not given a fair hearing, it means that the process, they now question the process. And they give an example whereby if you go to the courts, and the courts will say that, okay, they will tell the government, for instance, they will tell you, okay, we want you to bring this person alive or dead. So what usually happens is that you'll have to make sure that you do that. Without that, now the proceeding is not going to take place.
Yeah, that one is also possible.
Yeah, so that's why the scholars are questioning, and they also bring in the issue of precedent that the High Court has really set. And that's why you're aware that the Senate wants to go to appeal the case. And why are they going to appeal the case? They feel that the fair hearing, they're going to appeal that so that it should not be on the record, because they know what it means. If it could have been something that is very lighty, they could have not talked about appealing.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, Actually, that is very correct. That's why I'm telling you. You see, the Senate, in their wisdom, realized that Gashagwa was just trying to take advantage of.
But if it was a taking it, they could have dismissed the case. Oh, okay. Adede Skupati.
Sick per se.
Yeah.
Hello? Yes. So
Yes.
I was saying, actually, I also tend to agree with the Senate. You see, up to now, I strongly believe that the right to fair hearing was accorded to Gachagua. I believe it was accorded. But remember, at the end of the day, not unless it is a serious criminal offense, the court cannot always demand that you be produced. Only if maybe it depends with the nature of the case. Like in this case, this person already presented himself before the Senate in the morning. So it already showed that this person is of sound mind. This person is capable of presenting himself before the Senate again and again and again. So remember, I agree with the Senate that they should appeal the case because the Senate believed that they accorded this person a fair hearing, but this person refused to cooperate. It is just a matter of cooperation. They believe that the person refused to cooperate so that he could take advantage of this when this matter is presented to the court, which also brings a bad precedence, remember, which also sets a bad precedence. It brings us to a situation whereby in the near future, when somebody is wrong, he kidnaps himself, then he say that I was not given a fair hearing. So I believe that this thing should be appealed. The Senate should appeal, and the judges should rule in the favor of the Senate that this person was given a fair hearing, an opportunity for a fair hearing, but he did not present himself. He refused to cooperate.
Okay, Shasha, thank you so much. And as I said earlier, my leader, especially from Kisumu, is that this is a precedent that has been set. So it will still be here with us, and it will be used in jurisdiction, especially when it comes to making decisions. It will be a reference point. Now, let's come to you because I know that you are a member of ODM and you are in a youth wing. There's quite a lot that is happening in ODM, and I would come to the big rally that happened in Kirembe. And aftermath of the rally, we've seen disunity, or we will say that disagreement among the leaders, yet this rally was dubbed as one that is going to unite the people of ODM, especially the Luo Nation. Why were there divisions?
Pardon?
The divisions that we saw aftermath of Kirembe meeting.
Yeah.
Why the division?
So what I can say is, first of all, let us just give credit where it's due.
Yes.
The Kirembe rally was a very big success in terms of the attendance. You see, the people came there. People came there in their numbers, both women, people with disability, men, youth. People drawn from all over the region. The attendance was a success, and we believe it was one of the biggest rallies ever recorded in this parts of Kenya. So, in terms of attendance, we can say it was a success. Now, people who are complaining about the rally, remember currently we have a section of leaders or politicians who are not happy with the leadership with the current leadership of ODM. They're not happy. So regardless of anything that happens, they will always be complaining. They'll be complaining about this, complaining about that. So I believe that those people who are complaining are people who never meant well for the rally. Me personally, I like, for example, the few leaders who were complaining, they were complaining that mobilization money was not given to them. Me personally, I mobilized several people. I wasn't given mobilization money. I did it for the love of the party. I'm a loyal member of ODM. I don't have to wait to be given money to mobilize my supporters there. I can as well mobilize using my own means and take them there. So I believe those who are complaining are not genuine lovers of ODM party. They're not loyal members of ODM party. Loyal members are like us, like me, whom you are seeing right now here. You'll never hear us complain. We are very happy.
But do you think at some point, as members of the party, you can sit down and put things in order? Because when other people are complaining, yet this was a party that the rally was about unity, so which means it did not actualize its purpose.
I believe the rally actually actualized its purpose. As I was already saying, the few who are complaining, the few leaders who are complaining, I don't believe their heart and loyalty is in ODM. Even if things were done, even if they were good, they will still be complaining. So just like you are married to a woman and she has decided to leave you, she will always leave. There's nothing you can do about it. So me personally, I believe that members, genuine ODM loyalists to there, we are very happy. Everything is peaceful, and ODM is still maintaining its state as the biggest and the most influential party in Kenya.
Are you sure about that? Even in the next general election that is coming?
Of course, I'm very sure. But remember, let me now tell you something. Remember, ODM is a party with structures.
Yes.
We have a structure all the way from party leader to party chairperson, all the way to the counties, to the constituencies, to the policy. We have that structure. That is why even when it comes to mobilization, we just know the structure of communication. The chair, the party leader communicates to the chair, to the county board, to the county heads, to the constituency, to the wards, to the polling station. So that is why it was even very easy for us to communicate and mobilize our members to come to that day. So these other people who are complaining, majority of them, let me now tell you, majority of these people are complaining, don't even have any future in ODM. Majority of them are already looking for other parties. Yeah, like I don't want to mention the name, but let me just give an example. Like one of the MCS here we have in the county assembly, Kisumu, who went on Ramogi TV and started complaining that he was not given mobilization money. I can tell you, by the year 2023, that MCA had already left ODM. She was already in UDA. You see, that's why she's complaining. I asked my party chairperson, the Kisumu settled chairperson, who is Aduinya. I asked her, why is this Mweshimiwa complaining that Hakupewa person, she was not given money for mobilization? Then my chairperson told me that they were giving the money only to, the money was being given to legitimate ODM members, not people who had already left the party. You see, you could be, it is possible that you were elected in ODM, with ODM in 2023, but you already left. You are already quoting another party. So we cannot look for you out there and give you money to mobilize ODM members. That won't make sense. Okay, so I can confirm right now that people who are complaining are not legitimate and genuine and loyal members of ODM.
But if you refer to that interview, there were around 3 MCAs. I know the one you were speaking about, nominated member of county assembly. The 2 were elected. Yes. One of them was coming from North Kanyamkago ward. The other one was coming from Touch. All of them, including them, they also confirmed and confessed that they are not aware that the money was given for mobilization. They did not receive the money. So does it mean that they're also exiting? They're not legitimate members?
They are. There are people I know in person. There are people I know in person. Those are people who have been fighting ODM party from the first day. The first day when we were electing the speaker of the county assembly, they did not even vote for the speaker who was preferred by the party. They did not even vote for that speaker. They are the people we know. Their heart is in other parties, but they behave like members of ODM. But their loyalty is elsewhere.
So right now, you as a young person or as a leader in ODM, where do you see ODM right now, especially going towards 2027 with all these leadership challenges that ODM is experiencing? Where do you see ODM, and do you think is it something that will be solved?
I think actually ODM has really outdid itself. I think ODM has outperformed itself. Do you know the reason why? Most parties usually die after the exit of the founding member, of the founder. And remember, our founder was Raila Amolo Odinga.
Yeah.
Most parties die. You can remember Kanu died, the TNA died with Kibaki, Kanu died with Moi. Those other parties died. Remember, currently, ODM is still making very big rallies all the way. Me personally, I've gone as far as Coast, Malindi, to Mombasa, to Migori. I went to Narok to see with my own naked eyes. People are still loyal to ODM, and the ODM structure is still operational up to the polling station. So we could not operate at 100% capacity where we used to operate when Raila was still there. But if we can operate at 90%, then we consider it a success. Because remember, right now we are operating without Raila, who used to be there, like our father. Nobody, we didn't expect to operate at the same level if Raila leaves us. So right now we can say we have a little challenge, but the small challenge we are having, if we compare with what we've done in the past few months, we believe it is a success. Remember, ODM is the only party in Kenya that can call delegates throughout the country and have a deliberation with delegates. ODM is the only party in Kenya that holds big rallies across Kenya from all the regions, all the way from Western to Coast. Which other party does that? Even the ruling party UDA are struggling. And remember, they are the ruling party with the president in the State House. So what I can say is this: ODM, we are doing fine. Okay. Let's accept the reality that we cannot operate in the same level we used to operate when Raila was there. Right now, Raila is not there, and we have to accept that fact. But what I know is we are doing fine. We recently did an ODM celebration at 20 after Raila is gone. I can tell you that thing was massive. That thing was big. That thing was big. And remember, the budget of that thing was 200 million. Which party can now do an event worth 200 million? We went to an SDC in Nairobi. Budget of that was 100 million. Which party can do an event worth 100 million? Which party?
But Moesh, I agree with what you are saying, and everybody knows on how ODM came into being and what ODM stood for the 20 years that you're talking about. But for some good reason, majority of people sees that ODM is deviating from what he stood for, especially for the social justice. That everybody knows that, based on how maybe the ODM now is being.
Okay, I can explain that. Let me tell you something. ODM still stands for social justice. The only problem is the mode of operation. People expect that if you stand for social justice, then you need to be in the streets, you need to be making noise, you need to be in press conferences, you need to be fighting the government, which is wrong. Let me tell you something. Raila Amolo Odinga, in his wisdom, had a program of fighting for social justice. That's why they came with a 10-point agenda. And remember, the issues in the 10-point agenda cannot be solved in one day. That is a reality we have to accept. That's why we said, let us fight for social justice within the government. That's why we look for the President William Ruto and sign the 10-point agenda. It is part of fighting for the social justice. We have just decided to push for this agenda within the government. We are now pushing within the government. If a reasonable time elapses before the government implements the 10-point agenda, then we have a right of pulling out and saying that now we don't want to be part and parcel of this government. As ODM, remember, yes?
I want you.
So I was trying to tell you, as ODM, remember, our scorecard is the 10-point agenda, which was signed by Lamont Odinga and William Ruto. That is our scorecard. And currently, as I'm talking, let me tell you, even 2 days ago here in Kisumu Social, there was a meeting with the government through the Ministry of Interior was meeting people who are harmed during the mandamanos, so that they can be compensated. That is among the key points in the 10-point agenda. So our scorecard in the 10-point agenda. The only difference is we've decided to fight within the government. We don't want to fight in the streets. So the people who think that we are not fighting for the social justice expect us to be running in the street, tear gas and bullets in the police, things like that. We just change strategy, and our strategy is working.
But you know, the only point of departure that I have with you, that it's sometimes we do pick topics, or we do pick words when it suits us.
Yes.
When we are talking about the same constitution, as a person who says that you're somebody who understands and a student of this constitution, and somebody who believes in democracy, when you look at Article 37 as outlined on how we should express ourselves. The only thing that we have as a country is that we do not understand when we want to go on the street, including the police that are working for the government. Me and you know very well, because both of us come from Kisumu, that if you go on the street, you want to protest peacefully, what will happen are two things, and you will agree with me, is either a protester will see a police standing there and use that pelt stone at that police officer without even, police officer has not reacted, you know. Those are there. I remember there was the campaign, Sister Ruta Mawe Tena initiative that was in Kisumu. And this was to bring communication between the police and the community. Secondly, is also the police. Sometimes people are just marching peacefully and they throw in tear gas. So which means we do not understand one another, you know. So by you even fighting in the government, if we do not understand the importance of going to the street to protest, people are not going to protest so that they can be killed. People are not going to protest so that they can fight with the police, but people are going to protest to air out their grievances and say that you're supposed to do this, you've not done it. So it doesn't mean whether you are in government or you're not in government, you can still go on the street and say that we are not pleased with what government is doing. We are not pleased with what this company is doing to our community. We are not pleased. That is the main aim of protesting.
I understand you, and I can respond to that. Let me tell you something. We respect Article 37 of our Constitution. We respect it so much, and we've asked.
Ni kama adete watu wanampigia sana, you know. I'm still waiting for Adede. I think that people calling him, because like every time you are online and you're getting a call.
What we are simply saying. Yes, you're back. So I was saying, Article 37 of our Constitution. It is one of the best articles we had in our Constitution. What we are simply saying is this: we do not discourage people who have chosen to go to the streets and protest and demand for their rights. We do not condemn them. In fact, we encourage them. What we are simply saying is, as ODM as a party, We have chosen to do things differently. But if there are other groups, like maybe the human rights group,
All right. I think there's a problem with Adede Shesha's internet.
groups who want to address it in the streets. Yes, so we are saying let other groups also do it within their rights. Even and remember, ODM is not the only party in Kenya. There are 98 registered political parties in Kenya. They also have a right to go to the streets and protest and demand for their rights. What we are simply saying, as a party, since we already have a written agreement, we already have a scorecard. We want to work within the framework. We want to work within a certain framework of this written forward. It will be very awkward for us as a party that we can go to the street to demand things which we are already negotiating in the boardroom. So that's what we're saying. If others can do it in the street, the better for them. We encourage them. It is part of their constitutional right. They're doing fine. But as a party, we may join them later if we feel that our scorecard has not been fulfilled. But for now, as a party, we are not going to the streets. We have timelines of things to be addressed, and we are waiting for the right time. We will look at it. If they are not addressed, then we will join the rest in the streets. But right now, we are still giving the government, the ruling party, reasonable time to address the issue in the 10-point agenda.
Okay. That's fair enough. We with us will be here because they usually say that internet doesn't forget. One time I know all that reason and time we will give based on what you're saying as a member of the party. Now, let's come to you as a leader because I know that you are vying in Kisumu. What are the plans that you've put in place, especially for people of Shauri Moyo? What are the plans that you put in place?
Okay, that's a good question. So, remember, Kaloleni Shauri Moyo ward where I'm buying is within the town, within the CBD, within Kisumu Central. So we were within the metropolis of the town. So what I can say is one of the my main aim is to address the key challenges facing our people. One of those key challenges is security. We just talked about. We have issues of security, and I believe security should be addressed in two fronts. Security should be addressed from the job creation perspective, and it also should be addressed from the security department perspective. Currently, the way I already told you earlier, we are having several meetings with the security stakeholders. Even right now, as we are talking, it is at night here in Kenya. A lot of police patrols are being done. That is part of that is fruit of our engagement with the security agencies. But as leaders, we also have a responsibility to make sure that our young people are not idle, because I believe most of these young people who are doing these things, who are into theft and burglary and things like that, some of them are jobless, some of them are idle. So as a leader, I believe that we should be creating platforms and avenues so that our people can employ themselves, our people can be employed, our people can start businesses, our people can engage in serious economic activities so that they don't have time to think of bad things. That's why me personally, as a decision, all along I've been in positive engagement with our young people. I encourage them to go to school, to study. As the county government of Kisumu has a very good institution here called Rotary, whereby most of our students study for free. Actually, it's just a fully sponsored program by the county government, doing wonderful courses whereby you can employ yourself. Our brothers and sisters are doing things like electrical, they're doing things like plumbing, the building technology, hairdressing, and a number of courses, most of which, when they are done, they can now engage positively within the community and employ themselves. That is what I'm encouraging among the young people. Positive engagement, productivity, so that our youths are not sitting there at home.
Okay, maybe also you can also explain to us, especially how are you going to deal with, especially the accessibility in case there's emergency of fire, because that thing has always been a problem, especially in Kisumu, when there's a fire outbreak in a certain area where you are a leader. How are you going to deal with that to make that road accessibility so that the fire trucks would access maybe the place whereby you're going to lead?
Actually, what I can say is currently most of our roads within town are being tarmacked. There's this World Bank project, the World Bank funded project that is tarmacking roads within town. It's called KSIP. It's called KSIP. So KSIP is really tarmacking roads within town, and I believe that is going to open more areas for accessibility. Another thing, apart from that, I believe that the fire department should also be more, should also be available. Personally, I've been pushing for that. In most places I go, I try to leave the numbers of the fire department so that whenever there's any issue, they respond immediately. So far, they're really trying from their part. And when more of these roads are open, the way they're being open, I believe the accessibility will not be as a big problem as such.
Okay. All right. And how are you going to deal with the issue of Gunism? Because this is something that also we've experienced, whereby a majority of the politicians do hire these young men and those who are doing this Gun act. How, as a leader, how are you going to make sure that the area that you are going to lead is not going to be a Gunism area, or make sure that the young people are not engaged or are not being procured by politicians, especially maybe to create mayhem for their opponents? Hello?
Yes, so issue of Gunism is a serious issue. Yeah, last time you saw even our neighboring senator Ososi was attacked by goons here in Kisumu. So it is a serious issue. So I believe as leaders we need to engage our young people positively, and I've just said that some few minutes ago. I believe positive engagement is going to solve a lot of these social problems and economic problems we are having here in Kisumu. Most of these things, they are just most of
Okay. Adede seems to be having a problem with this network. Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk to these people because they are people we know. You see, Kisumu is a small town. We know almost most of these people. We know them. So positive engagement is going to help us, and I'm calling upon all the leaders, if we can join hands and help our young boys and girls, it's really going to help us solve this problem. So it's just about positive engagement.
Okay, Adede, thank you for having you. Maybe if you have one or two to mention to your people of Shaurimoyo, Kaloleni Shaurimoyo.
Okay, thank you so much. So what I can say is, I thank the people of Kalonzo Ward so much for always giving me the encouragement and the support I need. Actually, it's been years and years I've been working with them. Even today, right now, I'm just from some event in Kibuye, whereby we were helping our brothers there at the carpentry sector. I've worked with them with this journey. I've worked with them this journey for so long. There's no door, there's no stone which I've not turned. There's no door which I've not knocked. There's no estate which I've not gone. I've gone to women barazas. I've gone to men barazas, I've gone to PWD barazas, I've talked to community health workers within our ward. I've talked to elders within our ward. I've talked to students, eh? And all of them, we always engage very positively in terms of social economic development. Our aim is to make sure that our people grow both socially and economically. We want to see improvement in all sectors within our ward. So that's why what I can say, that as an administration, I'm still strong, I'm still vibrant, I'm still there. And 2027, God willing, we will still come back stronger than ever. And we believe that we will be victorious. And once we are victorious, it will not be victory for me as an administration. It will be victory for the young people, for the women, for the PWDs, for the elders, for everybody within the Kalonzo world. Because everything we are discussing, all the engagements we are having, we will put them into practice. So that's why I'm saying, let us continue pushing. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and the future is bright. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Adede. I know I will come and at least have a one-on-one conversation with you on the ground. Apart from that, I know there is a border also that you usually visit and have a conversation with them. I will make sure that also we talk about that next time I'm having you on on the ground. With those few remarks, Adede, thank you so much, and I know I'll talk to you and we can organize for another interview. Thank you so much, Mr. Adede.
I appreciate so much. I appreciate so much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. We were having Adede Sheshe. Adede Sheshe is from Kisumu, and we were just having conversation with him, especially regarding his political and ODM. And you had his views, especially when it comes to ODM. And I think the views were convincing. Okay, thank you so much. I will also engage another leader, especially from Kisumu, and who again, there are quite a number of them that I'm reaching out to, so that we can have different views, especially as we monitor how the politics is politicking. I don't know whether Makobura is still around. With those few remarks, I believe. Oh, Makobura.
Yes, I'm here.
You are here. You said you're supposed to ask a question. I waited for your question, but you did not bring your question.
I have listened, and
Yeah.
I just had a question that I wanted him to answer. Because, Adede Sheshe is one of those leaders that we've always had a conversation with over here. And not once, but several times. I remember we hosted him those days immediately after the election. We hosted him, and his view about the government was not, he was not a supporter of the government. And then I remember we hosted him again immediately when the ODM joined the government, and then he partly changed again when the party joined the government. And so today I'm seeing him struggle to give some clarification on certain facts, which then brings me to this question. Why is it that even good young people who have always had a political stand that is fully, they've always shown that good stand, but of late, they're just going by the waves because ODM is still there. One thing they should know is that Raila is no longer with us. This is the best time that they can come out and also try to chart their way out. They are not supposed to be fearful of a political parties like ODM. If he knows and he believes that he's walked around, just like he has said, if he believes that there is no stone that he has not turned in that particular ward, then he should have a stand, even if he's going to come independent. He should not be fearful of that, because I had him struggle to explain. Explaining how about the ruling of the court. I had him saying that the judges know what they are doing, and that what they did was good for the country. Something that personally have a divergent opinion. I cannot support that, whether it was in ODM or not,
Mm,
because if you look at the bigger thing, it is not about this particular individual. It is about the president that is being set that is going to affect the future of this particular nation. And I've also not. I also have a divergent opinion on his view of his current political stand, because the other time I heard him spoke, these are things that we can review. Internet never lies. We have quite a number of times had conversation here with him, and I remember him first crying that there was a problem in how ODM managed their, how was it? I'm
mm,
forgetting. Uh,
mm,
the nomination process and all those kind of things. And he was very particular. How I wish he would have the similar stand, the one similar to the one that he used to have. But with him coming out to start defending something that cannot be you cannot defend, I think that's a big task for him. Let him just focus on his brand, and let him focus on ensuring that his views and his wishes for the people of his ward are all catered for. That would be
mm.
my take.
Okay, thank you so much. Makobura, I think what usually happens in our politics, especially, this is not the first time, especially that I'm having engagement with, especially the younger leaders, especially who are coming from Kisumu. There are quite a number of things that plays in that politics. Adede is a good example. Adede is the person that I can remember when he was running for his nomination for ODM. Until today, Adede has not known. And if you recall that conversation we had with him, he did not know up to today the number of votes that he got during the nomination. You know, during that I think like there was when we had the first conversation with him, because he was a front runner actually, and he did not uh, know know the nomination, how much did he get, and even the person who defeated him who got the certificate. Until today he still doesn't know, based on the interview we had with him some times back. So there's what usually shape this. Remember, one of the things that you have to look at, the party position and the population where you are. You find that sometimes the population where you are do not vote people, they vote the party. In a situation after realizing that they vote the party, sometimes you end up taking stands that actually is not your wish, but you have to go with it because like you want to be there, but like because the majority will be voting the party, so you have to make sure that you be in the party, then you can get that leadership. Because you remember we talked about Kirembe, what happened when Professor Tom Ojenda went to, when he was having this interview and claimed that there was a mobilization money that was given. MCA were given up to around 100,000, then members of parliament between 500 to around 600,000, but other leaders came out and said that they did not get, but some went into specifics and said that especially those who are coming from Kisumu somewhere were given that amount, and people later some were given, So those are issues. So, but at some point with time, things will change. For instance, we've talked about if you listen to Mushimiwa, the way he was talking about the protest, and he has said that we as ODM, we've decided to fight this from inside. But now, when you come and at the same time say that you're a person who is law-abiding citizen and somebody who believes in the democracy, what does democracy dictate? The democracy dictates that if you feel like there is a way in which you are not happy, especially with your place of work, with your government, or with your leader, whatever leader, even your MCA, you can go on the street and petition, and say that we are not, that's one way of expressing yourself. And what happens is that both the citizens and the police, sometimes they do not understand what should be done. at what point should the police lobby tear gas? Yeah. And yeah, but also the person who is going to go for protest, what is the role of the law enforcement? So many a times, or when we see people going on the street to protest, you will find a protester, the policeman or the law enforcement is just standing over there, just watching. Yeah, is there. Somebody just throws stone to provoke this police officer. The same way, the police officer will just throw the tear gas. And at the time of throwing the tear gas, there was no threat. So understanding, So you see, these are some of the things that sometimes we tend to forget. So that would be my take.
Yeah, there's what I can say, lack of consistency within the political class, and it is a serious challenge that we've witnessed. And that's why I had mentioned earlier that the problem we have is lack of consistency and again lack of honesty. Because the examples that I did give earlier, I said that you find that a politician today is in the side of opposition, he will tell you how the government side is bad and he'll give all the negative views. When they're in the opposition, they do the same. And that is not honesty. To an extent that some of them actually, at a time when they should be uniting the people, they are confusing the people and they're making it tough for people to understand what is going on. And that is what they're progressing with, something that is not really okay.
And another thing that also people should understand is, especially for right now, I think we should reach a point whereby we are not fighting somebody who is in the presidency, but we are fighting for good system of governance. Like if we defend everybody, sometimes you might defend your MCA who is doing a wrong thing just because he's your tribesman or is your clansman, but he's not doing a right thing. So you say that we are supporting you, and this person has not been doing things well. So it should not be allegiance to the person. You should look at what is this person doing. Do you feel that what he does is really helping the community, or is he fighting for the rights of the people? It's if he's not, then he should not be on that leadership. And that one does not mean that you don't like him. Is that like what you are doing does not reflect what we as society are looking for? Right? Yes, his real name is Adede Sheshe. That is his name. Okay, Makobura, what do you say? I need to vacate.
Yeah, I think it was a good conversation, and he opened up very nicely. The only issue was the only slight issue was the internet.
Yeah.
How I wish it was stable enough so that we would clearly get to understand his views on all the questions that were presented before him. But I believe that one of these days you'll find him again so that we get to understand again part of his manifesto, if it is all aligned towards protecting the people's views in his particular jurisdiction. Above all, I think it was a nice conversation, and I believe that we should be having more of this.
All right, thank you so much, Makobura, and may God bless you. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, Makobura, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow they are reading the budgets. We'll be here. I think so, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.